You know, it's bad when even I came out of retirement to say something. I didn't know this movie existed until the Oscars surprisingly came out with 13 nominations for Emilia Perez. I just watched this movie and holy God, what? I don't know who this movie was made for. I honestly don't know who this movie was made. Well, scratch that. It wasn't made for men. It wasn't made for women. It wasn't made for Latinas. No, not at all. Ooh, I have a lot to say about that too. Made for one group of people, and that was Hollywood. Hollywood seems to love this movie, and it seems to be the case because with 13 nominations, this movie is apparently to them on the same level as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Do I even need to say anything? What is this movie about? Basically, let's put it very easily. Cartel drug lord, very bad person, decides to do something so that they're able to hide and get away with basically what they've done. But then they have a conscience, they feel bad. At the end of the movie, she's literally portrayed as almost like a Virgin Mary-like. Literally. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it. It's kind of, one feels bad, you know, and that's the whole story. And you're basically following the story of her and the lawyer played by Zoe Saldana. And for some reason, this is a musical? Don't worry, none of the music is good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put a clip on, but do I need to say the one where it's like, a penis and vagina? It's so bad, guys. It's even worse when you actually see it. It's so bad. The music is terrible, legitimately. None of the songs really stuck to me. And yeah, it was just not worth it. The acting was subpar to terrible. I'm gonna get to that a little bit. Gomez was... Jesus Christ, woman. You can't speak Spanish. You just can't. And that's okay to admit it. You just can't speak Spanish. Very obvious to someone that speaks Spanish. But her singing was terrible and her acting was bad. I'm sorry. And if you're a big Selena Gomez fan, I'm breaking your heart right now. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. The thing about it was good. Cinematography was like television. It was almost like television-like, almost like CW level. Music was disgusting, to say the least. Like, it was subpar. The music was abhorrent. The music was intolerable. I did not like it. I want it just for the love of God. The movie's really not that special. That's the thing about it. This movie's really not special. Comparing it to Dune Part 2, The Brutalist, Nickel Boys, like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not the same level of quality at all. And for some reason, Hollywood is pretending like it is. That I really didn't like about this movie. By the way, this movie is receiving a 3 out of 10 out of me. I hate this movie with a passion. Anyway, so number one thing that I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the director came out saying that he didn't do any research. Like, none was required for the culture that the movie takes place in, that is about, and there's actors and actresses, well, characters that are from Mexico. He did no research whatsoever. I think he said, I don't need any, I already know everything I need to know. Okay. That's number one. Number two, no one here can speak Spanish other than Zoe Saldana. And even with Zoe Saldana, I'm gonna say it right here, it sounds like someone that used to speak Spanish, stopped speaking for a long time, and is now kind of relearning it. That's basically what it sounded like. At least to someone like myself. Actually kind of borderline insulting in many ways. I do appreciate that she did come out saying that she does apologize for not knowing enough. I don't know, I just did not like it at all. And it's so obvious. And she's not the only characters. Most characters clearly don't speak Spanish. The other thing that the director said is that he couldn't find any suitable talent for his movie. I was born and raised on telenovelas. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Not one good talent. All right, so that was number, I don't even know what number I am at right now. It's the portrayal of the Mexican culture. It's so blatantly obvious that I don't agree with it at all. It's basically portraying the Mexican culture as just violence. And what? And Hollywood just goes, oh my God, so brave. So brave. It really does feel like the Twilight Zone because everyone agrees, at least everyone that's a human, that this movie is terrible. This movie is terrible in every way, shape, or form. And I think there's no other conclusion other than this movie was made for Hollywood. It was made for Hollywood. Hollywood elites, that people that think that they are better than you and that they know better than you. And that's what they did. And you see it at the ending of this movie when they basically turned the main character into a saint and had her like almost in a not a crucifixion pose, but like the Virgin Mary kind of pose, and just they were walking her down the street and singing. Oh, that was offensive, by the way. That was offensive. Anyone that is anyone knows that the Virgin Mary or La Virgen de Guadalupe is a very important religious figure in all of Mexico. And they just... Oh, I'm not even going to say anything else other than that. I found it incredibly offensive at the ending. I don't like it when other cultures just come in and just make fun of someone else's culture like that. I don't appreciate it. If there was a purpose behind it, if there was a reasoning as to why this is happening that made sense and that was actually good, sure. You'd be surprised how open I am to things. I made something in this movie because I have heard of stories of actual drug lords getting surgeries in order to look different so that they're able to basically just get away with everything they did. These are real stories that they could have actually adapted and made a movie about it, but they didn't. They just went some kind of direction that everyone just went like, what the fuck? What? It's, yeah. Overall, yeah, this movie is terrible. I don't like it. I don't recommend it. I mean, I don't know who watches the Oscars anymore at this point because this is kind of insulting here to see how many Oscars this wins. Because if I swear if this thing wins more than five, I'm just gonna cry. And then they're being like, they're doing it for my sake, for people like me's sake. We didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any of this. Leave us out of this. Anyway, that's my review. If you disagree with me, take it down to the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe on your way there. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna try and make this a little bit more of a thing, okay?